I'm sitting at the IEC Results Center in Century City with Tania Kleynhans from the Allied Movement for Change,
That's correct.
AM4C. Who's the guy? Who's your leader? Is in National Parliament? That short guy? What's his name?
Honorable Sheikh Imam.
Honorable Sheikh
Imam.
Imam, the one that always votes with the ANC and always supports the ANC stuff.
The one who's always saying Mr. President, but
There we go.
He does, however, stand by his view.
By his views.
Yeah.
Tania, how did the election go for you guys? And are you a first-time candidate?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I am. I think it was enduring.
Mm-hmm.
We only really been campaigning for 4 months.
Okay.
So I'm not really, how can I say, it's overwhelming because, it's the first time and you're looking at how you're being compared to the bigger players. And but I think for us, we are encouraged by the fact that we are here. We were able to meet the criteria. The criteria was very tough. Remember, with the IC, with the 15,000 signatures and all that they required. So we went through that process. But it all hinges on who has the biggest financial support at the end of the day.
How many votes did you guys get nationally?
Nationally, at the moment, we're just over 13,000.
And in Western Cape?
Over 4.
Over 4,000. So you guys got more votes than the UDM and the IFP and Good here in the Western Cape.
Correct.
And they established parties.
They are, and I think this is why we are, it's motivating for us. And I think especially the fact that our premier candidate is Faisal Sayed.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
I saw his photo on the board.
It's not as if these you can't also use political expediency as a benchmark because these are cultural and social activists that came together in the Western Cape. But one of the points that I must focus on with you now, the discussion, is when we use religion as one of the campaign tools, we need to be able to separate it. Because here you can see is a classic example of the DA, and if you look at the VDs, how predominantly Muslim communities
Voted DA.
voted DA.
There's a saying, Tanya, that religion and politics don't go well
No,
together,
it is oil and water.
right?
Yeah.
And it's been proven again.
Yeah.
I'll express a view later on around the phenomenon around why people, in spite of Palestine, why Muslims still voted for the DA.
No, it's
In the
very
Western Cape.
disturbing.
But Tanya, so you guys had to get, on a lighter note, you guys had to get 15,000 votes in signatures in order to register.
Registered.
But then you guys only got 13,000 votes.
No, but look.
How does that work?
It was not about your members. It was going, you go door to door.
But your
you
members
ask
should have voted
people,
for you.
Yeah, but nobody. And I must say this. I know it's sort of a double-barrel shotgun question, but up until that potential voter or that voter casts its vote at the ballot, you will never know.
No, exactly.
You will never know. And what made it even worse is the fact that we had these 3 ballots right now. So, do we say that people are totally committed to the party?
That's a question that you guys need to reflect upon.
Many.
Yeah.
Not just us, many other parties.
So, Tanya, then what do you say to, when you look at that number, I look at that board and I see how much these smaller and new parties are getting. It's like a few hundred or just over 1,000 and so on. And some of us have been arguing that these parties, smaller parties, need to work together. What will your approach be now after this election, in lead up to 2026 and 2029, about parties putting their egos in their pockets and working together, including your party? Because I know your leader is a big personality. They all think they're leaders. But for the greater good, that each one don't spend their meager resources on different posters and stuff like that. But did you guys pull it all together? What's your thinking about that?
At what the compelling requirements are, 500,000 rand, right? We only contested in 3 provinces. Western Cape, KZN and Gauteng. But like you say, you know, if you look at that board and if you look at what is projected with numbers, it's quite shocking that people invested so much money. And the question that you asked me earlier on is that you're willing to pay 500,000 rand, you're willing to comply with 15,000 signatures. However, you only have 1,000 members or 1,000 votes, you know, nationally. So everybody here is a lot of, I think only the DA is arrogant enough to walk around and, you know,
brag and so on.
Yeah, I mean, you know, and for me, we need to ask ourselves, where do we draw the line when it comes to suffering? Are we volunteering it? You know, to have this hegemonic master, it is very disturbing.
Yeah. Tania, then another question I want to ask, do you think there should be a threshold for parties to contest elections? Like, for example, if you're an existing party and say provincially you must have at least 2,000 or 3,000 votes, even that is low, and nationally at least 10,000 votes, you must have at least that or have had that in a previous election. Because nationally you still need about 35,000 votes in order to get one seat. Don't you think there is a case, and we need to start seriously considering that there must be a threshold? I understand all of the other arguments around freedom of choice and all of that stuff, etc. But you know, the ordinary voters have spoken to us. They say, listen, you lot, we see through you. What's your sense around the possibility of a threshold?
Well, you know, was coming from a cultural background, you must understand this is it's a new dynamic. It's a learning curve. You know, you get you're now getting a sense of the view of the general public, and the fact that people, I say again, if you are like with the threshold, I feel that we got to get away from the dominant parties, and it's also going to evolve into a lot of conflict very soon. I mean, you can already see it. You get a sense of it. But with the smaller parties, why was there not a consideration to come together?
Yeah.
Why was there not? Because we are representing a large complement of a social group or dynamics of people that could have been a formidable opposition to the DA in the Western Cape.
Yeah. Tania, what made you decide to get into this, to be a candidate?
Well, firstly, I think that I've reached I wouldn't say pinnacle, but enough has been done in terms of raising awareness and consciousness when it comes to our cultural identity and our rights. I think you also get to a point where all the novices that are just springing up all over the show, they are really tainting the integrity and also the rights of us as indigenous peoples. They've compromised us to a great extent. As an institution, we are more inclined now to empower young people to become cultural activists.
Okay.
You know, we also have to come to the realization that you cannot be doing this for too many years. You also
Okay.
have to sit back and mentor, and that is where we're heading to right now. But you know, this whole thing of monarchs, the traditional Anko and San Leadership Act, the fact that we have cultural leaders of, let's just say for argument's sake, a clan like the Koranas. You will have one of the monarchs heading towards MK, another one supporting maybe PMC.
Other one here.
Yeah, and you know, they in itself, I mean, we have displayed
Huge division.
we have
Huge
displayed
division.
it even on a political level.
Yeah.
So if we cannot unify culturally, you know, we have really exposed.
So what next?
Ourselves.
What next after this campaign now? What next for Tanya?
What next is to prepare young leaders, you know, for 2026. I don't think that this was not about me. This was about finding a platform to speak for the rights of First Nation peoples, which is our right. Political representation is our right. And some of the people, the cultural leaders, I mean, with the MK, they listed number 40 odd on their national list. You know, so I think I was ranked reasonably high within AM4C, but there's no regret. There's only but looking forward to 2026 and to establish a foothold with our younger people.
Okay. Thanks, Tanya.
Thank
All the
you.
best. Okay.
Thank you.
Keep up the good
Thanks.
work.
Thank you very much.
Okay.